Hello and welcome to Let's Play the Citadel of Chaos by Steve Jackson. Let's read the synopsis. Who knows what monstrous creatures lie in wait in the Citadel of Chaos? The Citadel holds a dark and dangerous peril for anyone foolhardy enough to venture through its gruesome gates. And yet venture you must, for your mission lies at the heart of the Citadel, with the dread sorcerer, Balthus Dire. 2 dice, a pencil and an eraser are all you need to make your journey. You decide which route to take, which monsters to fight, and where to use your special knowledge of the magic arts. Cover illustration by Ian Miller. And there's a picture of Steve Jackson and his autograph. Although just a print of his autograph, of course. Okay, this is book number 2 in the Fighting Fantasy series. So this one was released directly after the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. And its only author is Steve Jackson. There's a picture of the front cover. Okay, moving on. Okay, the Citadel of Chaos. Deep inside the Citadel of Chaos, the dread sorcerer, Balthus Dire, is plotting and scheming the downfall of the good folk of the Vale of Willow. His battle plans are laid, his awesome army equipped, and attack is surely imminent. Summoned by a desperate plea for help, you are the Vale of Willow's only hope. Star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yor, I think that says Yor, and the Master of Magic, only you can undertake a mission which strikes at the very heart of Balthus Dire's nightmare world. Who knows what monstrous creatures await you there? Steve Jackson has created a thrilling adventure of sword and sorcery for you, with an elaborate combat system, a dazzling array of spells to use, and a score sheet to record your gains and losses. All you need is 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser. All you need are 2 dice. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are arranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. Steve Jackson is the co-founder, with Ian Livingstone, of the hugely successful Games Workshop chain. Okay, there are the other books in the series, if you can read them. This book is not the first edition. The first edition didn't have covers like these, with the author in bold like that. So I know that this isn't the first version, and that just confirms it really. The fact that the rest of this series are in the are listed inside the book like this. Okay. The Citadel of Chaos, illustrated by Nicholson. Okay. For some reason they put the front cover there again. Although this time it's easier to read, so there's the front cover again. And that again. And that again. Okay, so let's read through this. How to fight creatures within the Citadel. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yor. You have a knowledge of magic which is not perfect, but with a little luck will be adequate. It doesn't make any sense. But with a little luck will be adequate for this quest. Wait, you have a knowledge of magic which is not perfect, but with a little luck will be. Oh, it does make sense, yeah. Okay, it's just difficult. It's just a bit weird. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yor. You have a knowledge of magic which is not perfect, but with a little luck will be adequate for this quest. You also have in your possession a sword, and you are well practiced in sword play. You are quite fit, and you have been exercising to build up your stamina. As in the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses before setting off. Readers of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain will be familiar with most of the following rules, but are advised to skim through them as there are several points where the two books differ because of the use of magic in the Citadel of Chaos. First of all, you must use the dice to determine your initial skill and stamina scores. On pages 20 to 21 there is an adventure sheet which you may use to record the details of an adventure. On it you will find boxes for recording your skill and stamina scores. Skill, stamina and luck. Roll 1 die. Add 6 to this number and enter this total in the skill box on the adventure sheet. Okay, let's do this now. Okay, so 1 die. Yes, I've had some comments asking me to use a different dice program. I have the sort of personality that doesn't like too much change. In fact, I don't like any change, to be honest. I've been using this now. I like using it. I know what to expect with it. It's fairly reliable. I'm not going to change, so you might as well not ask me anymore because I'm never going to change. Okay. Anyway, let's roll 1 die and add 6 to the score to determine skill. No, no, nope. Yes. Okay, so let's choose 6 there. Okay, so our initial skill is 6 plus 6, which is 12. Alright, let's go on. I'm sorry, I'm not having 1, 2 or 3, that's not going to happen. Okay. Roll both dice, add 12 to the number rolled and enter this total in the stamina box. Okay, roll 2 dice. That's quite good. Add 12 is 23. So let's do that. So 23 is our initial stamina. But naturally that will change. There is also a luck box. Roll 1 die, add 6 to this number and enter this total in the luck box. Okay, so let's roll 1 die. Yeah, that'll do. 11. So luck is 11. For reasons that will be explained below, skill, stamina and luck scores change constantly during an adventure. You must keep an accurate record of these scores, and for this reason you are advised either to write small in the boxes or to keep an eraser handy. But never rub out your initial scores. Although you may be awarded additional skill, stamina and luck points, these totals... Where am I? Oh, these totals may never exceed your initial scores, except on very rare occasions when you'll be instructed on a particular page. Your skill score reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise, the higher the better. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy kingdom you are about to explore. Battles. You will often come across pages in the book which instruct you to fight a creature of some sort. An option to flee or use magic spells may be given, but if not, or if you choose to attack the creature anyway, you must resolve the battle as described below. First, record the creature's skill and stamina scores in the first vacant monster encounter box on your adventure sheet. The scores for each creature are given in a book each time you have an encounter. The sequence of combat is thus. Roll both dice once for the creature and its skill score. This total is the creature's attack strength. Roll both dice once for yourself. Add the number rolled to your current skill score. This total is your attack strength. If your attack strength is higher than that of the creature, you have wounded it. If the creature's attack strength is higher than yours, it has wounded you. If both attack strength totals are the same, you have avoided each other's blows. Start the next attack round from step 1 above. If you have wounded the creature, subtract 2 points from its stamina score. You may use your luck here to do additional damage. See over. If the creature has wounded you, subtract 2 points from your own stamina score. Again, you may use luck at this stage. See over. Make the appropriate adjustments to either the creature's or your own stamina scores and your luck score if you use luck. See over. Begin the next attack round by returning to your current skill score and then repeat steps 1 to 6. This sequence continues until the stamina score of either you or the creature you are fighting has been reduced to 0. Death. Escaping. On some pages you may be given the option of running away from a battle should things be going badly for you. However, if you do run away, the creature automatically gets in 1 wound on you, subtract 2 stamina points as you flee. Such is the price of cowardice. We went through this in the last book, didn't we? It's not technically cowardice, it could be a tactical retreat. It's like, oh no, there are 100 zombies or 100 vampires about to attack me. Oh no, I better not run away because I might be considered a coward. I mean, stupid. Note that you may use luck on this wound in the normal way, see below. You may only escape if that option is specifically given to you on the page. Fighting more than one creature. If you come across more than one creature in a particular encounter, the instructions on that page will tell you how to handle the battle. Sometimes you will treat them as a single monster, sometimes you will fight each one in turn. Luck. At various times during your adventure, either in battles or when you come across situations in which you could either be lucky or unlucky, details of these are given on the pages themselves, you may call on your luck to make the outcome more favourable. But beware, using luck is a risky business, and if you are unlucky, the results could be disastrous. The procedure for using your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky, and the result will go in your favour. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you have been unlucky, and you will be penalised. This procedure is known as testing your luck. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 point from your current luck score. Thus, you will soon realise that the more you rely on your luck, the more risky this will become. Using luck in battles. On certain pages of the book, you will be told to test your luck and will be told the consequences of you being lucky or unlucky. However, in battles, you always have the option of using your luck either to inflict a more serious wound on a creature you have just wounded, or to minimise the effects of a wound the creature has just inflicted on you. If you have just wounded the creature, you may test your luck as described above. If you are lucky, you have inflicted a severe wound and may subtract an extra 2 points from the creature's stamina score. However, if you are unlucky, the wound was a mere graze, and you must restore 1 point to the creature's stamina, i.e. instead of scoring the normal 2 points of damage, you have now scored only 1. If the creature has just wounded you, you may test your luck to try to minimise the wound. If you are lucky, you have managed to avoid the full damage of the blow. Restore 1 point of stamina, i.e. instead of doing 2 points of damage, it has done only 1. If you are unlucky, you have taken a more serious blow, subtract 1 extra stamina point. Remember that you must subtract 1 point from your own luck score each time you test your luck. Restoring a skill, stamina and luck. Your skill score will not change much during your adventure. Occasionally a page may give instructions to increase or decrease your skill score. A magic weapon may increase your skill, but remember that only one weapon can be used at a time. You cannot claim 2 skill bonuses for carrying 2 magic swords. Your skill score can never exceed its initial value unless specifically instructed. You may only restore your skill score by using a skill spell. See over. Stamina. Your stamina score will change a lot during your adventure as you fight creatures and injure yourself. You may only restore your stamina score by casting a stamina spell. See using magic. You are well advised to ensure that you include several stamina spells in your original choice of spells. Remember also that your stamina score may never exceed its initial value. Luck. Additions to your luck score may be awarded through the adventure when you have been particularly lucky. Details are given on the pages of the book. Remember that as with skill and stamina scores, your luck score may never exceed its initial value. You may otherwise only restore your luck score by using a luck spell. See using magic. Using magic. In addition to skill, stamina and luck scores, you must also determine your magic score in a similar way. Roll 2 dice, add 6 to the number rolled and enter this total in the magic box on your adventure sheet. Okay, let's do that now. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so add. Okay, so it's 9. 9 add 6 is 15. So that's 15 from our magic score. I only do that for the initial rolls because, in theory, I could just keep restarting the book until I get good rolls. I never do that for battles or anything else. Everything else is always fair. Okay. Anyway. Your magic score determines how many magic spells you may use during your quest. These spells may be chosen from the list following this section. After considering the spells available, enter your choices in the magic spells box on your adventure sheet. If, for example, you roll a 4 and a 3, your magic score will be 13. i.e. 4 plus 3 add 6. Add 6, looks like divide, yeah. 4 plus 3 adds 6, which means you will be able to use 13 spells during your adventure. From the list of spells given below, you may choose 13 spells as you please. Perhaps you would like to take 3 stamina spells, 5 ESP spells, and 5 fire spells, or maybe you would prefer one of each of the 12 spells plus an extra creature copy spell. The choice is yours. Each time during the adventure that you use a spell, you must cross it off your list, even if it is not effective. If you have taken more than one of any spell, you must reduce the remainder available by 1 each time you use it. You will sometimes be given the option to use spells and find that you have not got them with you. You do not have them with you, or have used them all up. In these cases, you may not choose these options. As you will have no idea of the dangers lurking within the Citadel the first time you enter, you will no doubt choose spells which will not be as effective as you would like. But on subsequent adventures you will choose your spells more wisely. Also, don't worry if your magic score is low. Even the lowest possible score will provide you with enough spells to complete your quest if you make the right choices and are blessed with a little luck. Magic spells, here we go. Creature copy. This spell will allow you to conjure up an exact duplicate of any creature you are fighting. The duplicate will have the same skill and stamina scores and the same powers as its original, but the duplicate will be under the control of your will, and you may, for example, instruct it to attack the original creature and then sit back and watch the battle. ESP. With this spell you will be able to tune into psychic wavelengths. ESP stands for extrasensory perception, by the way, it doesn't mention that. So it's a psychic phenomenon. Extrasensory perception. With this spell, you will be able to tune into psychic wavelengths. It may help you to read a creature's mind, or may tell you what is behind a locked door. However, it is sometimes prone to give misleading information if more than one psychic source is close to another. Fire. Every creature is afraid of fire, and this spell allows you to conjure up fire at will. You may cause a small explosion on the ground which will burn for several seconds, or you may create a wall of fire to keep creatures at bay. Fool's Gold. This spell will turn ordinary rock into a pile of what appears to be gold. However, this spell is merely a form of illusion spell, although more reliable than the illusion spell below, and the pile of gold will soon turn back to rock. Illusion. This is a powerful spell, but one which is a little unreliable. Through this spell you may create a convincing illusion, e.g. that you have turned into a snake, or that the floor is covered in hot coals, with which to fool a creature. The spell will immediately be cancelled if anything happens which dispels the illusion, e.g. you convince a creature that you have turned into a snake, and then promptly crack it over the head with your sword. It is most effective against intelligent creatures. Levitation. You may cast a spell onto objects, opponents, and even yourself. It frees its receiver from the effects of gravity, and as such will cause that receiver to float freely in the air under your control. Luck. This spell, along with the skill and stamina spells, is special in that it may be cast at any time during your adventure except in a battle. You need not wait for a choice to appear on the page. Once cast, it will restore your luck score by half your initial luck score. If your initial luck is an odd number, deduct the extra half. So one has to round down. This spell will never take your luck score over its initial level. Thus, if you cast 2 luck spells together, your luck score will only be restored to its initial level. Shielding. Casting a spell creates an invisible shield in front of you which will protect you from physical objects, e.g. arrows, swords, or creatures. The shield is not effective against magic, and of course, if nothing outside it can touch you, you'll not be able to touch anything outside it. Skill. This spell will replenish your skill score by half its initial value. It may be cast at any time during your adventure except in a battle. For full rules, see the luck spell above. The skill spell works in exactly the same way. Stamina. This spell will replenish your stamina score by half its initial value and may be cast at any time except in a battle. See the luck spell for full rules. Strength. This spell has the effect of increasing your strength greatly and is very useful when battling strong creatures. However, it must be exercised with caution, as it is difficult to control your own strength when it is suddenly increased by so much. Weakness. Strong creatures are reduced by this spell to miserable weaklings. It is not successful against all creatures, but when effective, those creatures become puny and much less of a challenge in a battle. Equipment. You will start your adventure with a bare minimum of equipment. You are armed with a sword and dressed in leather armour. Lantern. We have leather armour, sword, and a lantern. Okay. So sword, leather armour, lantern. Whoops, lambton, I said. Not the lambton worm, that's lamb, like the animal lamb, ton. That's something else more interesting. Well, not more interesting but than the book, but well, it's a story, so it's about as interesting as this book, but it's certainly more interesting than the spelling error, or the typographical error I just made. Anyway, right. You carry a lantern to light your way and a backpack to hold any treasure or artifacts you may find on your way. Be sure to record all your finds in the equipment box on your adventure sheet. When these are used in any particular encounter, the story will tell you whether that item is destroyed or left behind. If it is lost in this way, you must cross it off your list of equipment and you may not use it later in the adventure. Okay, so there's the adventure sheet. So, yeah. I always thought there's not much room to write down the whole monster encounter. I mean, yeah, it's really tiny. Okay, now for the history. Now, the lawful good folk of the Vale of Willow have lived for some 8 years in awe and fear of the demi-sorcerer Balthus Dyer. In awe, since his power is truly awesome, and in fear ever since word leaked from his domain that his ambitious plans of conquest were to commence with the Vale itself. A faithful half-elf sent on a spying mission to the Black Tower came galloping back to the Vale 3 days ago with a frantic warning. From within the caverns of Crag and Rock, Balthus Dyer had recruited an army of chaotics and was preparing them to attack the Vale within the week. The good King Salamon was a man of action. Messengers were sent throughout the Vale that day to prepare defences and to summon the menfolk to action. Riders had also been sent to the great forest of Yore to warn the half-elves that lived there and to make an appeal for allied forces. King Salamon was also a wise man. He knew well that the news would have inevitably reached the Grand Wizard of Yore, a white sorcerer of great power, who lived deep within the forest. The wizard was old and would not last through a battle of this magnitude, but he schooled a number of young magicians, and perhaps one of his students in the magic arts with courage and ambition would aid the king and his subjects. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore. He has been a difficult master, and your own impatience has often gotten the better of you. Perhaps a little too headstrong, you left immediately for Salamon's court. The king welcomed you enthusiastically and explained his plan. The battle could be avoided without bloodshed if Balthus were to be assassinated before his army could be amassed. The mission ahead of you is extremely perilous. Balthus Dyer is surrounded in his citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. Although magic is your strongest weapon, there will be times when you must rely on your sword to survive. King Salamon has briefed you on your mission and warned you of the dangers that lie ahead. One way through the citadel is the best for you to take. If you discover it, you will be successful with a minimum of personal risk. It may take you several trips to find the easiest way through. You leave the Vale of Willow on the long hike to the Black Tower. At the foot of the hill of Crag and Rock, you can see its outline against the dark sky. Now turn over. Okay, 23 minutes in, and we finally start. Right. I just realised I haven't actually chosen my magic spells. Right, so let's choose spells. Now the spells I'm going to choose are... I'm going to choose 2 Levitations. So that's going to be 2 Levitations. I'm going to choose an ESP, Extrasensory Perception. I'm going to choose 2 Weaknesses. In fact, I'm going to put these on separate lines, I think. Yeah. Make it easier to see. Anyway, 2 weaknesses, a luck and a stamina. And a stamina spell. So that's... now this is only 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I have 15. So I'm going to take a load more. I'm going to take another luck spell. That's 2. I'm going to take another stamina spell, so that's 2 of them. So now we're up to 9. I still have another 6 left though. So let's get a creature copy. So they're the spells that you want. If you only got, for example, if you rolled a 1, if you rolled, or rather, it's rolling 2 dice, then add 6, isn't it? So the bare minimum you should get is therefore 8, because you can only get 2 plus the 6 8. So make sure you get these spells as a priority: 2 levitations, the ESP, 2 weaknesses, 1 luck, and 1 stamina. If you have any more, just choose some more. And I'm going to choose creature copy, so that takes me up to 10. What else can I take? I'm going to choose a fire and a fool's gold. That'll take me up to 12. I still have 3 more. So 3, 4, yeah, 12. I'm going to choose a strength and a shielding. That'll take me up to 14. Then I have 1 more. I'll take another creature copy, actually. That seems quite good. Seems quite novel. Yeah, I'll take 2 creature copies. Anyway, that should take me up to 15. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, that's all 15 of them. Good. Right. Okay, so that's the spells chosen. Now let's continue with the book. Okay. So here's paragraph 1. The sun sets. As twilight turns to darkness, you start your climb up the hill towards that forbidding shape silhouetted against the night sky. The citadel is less than an hour's climb. Some distance from its walls you stop to rest, a mistake, as it seems a fearful spectre from which there is no escape. The hairs on your neck prickle as you look towards it, but you are ashamed of your fears. With grim resolve you march onwards towards the main gate, where you know guards will be waiting. You consider your options. You have already thought about claiming to be a herbalist, come to treat a guard with a fever. You could pose as a trader or an artisan, perhaps a carpenter. You could even be a nomad, seeking shelter for the night. As you ponder the possibilities and the yarns you will have to spin to the guards, you reach the main trail leading up to the gates. 2 lanterns burn on either side of the portcullis. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and 2 misshapen creatures step forward. On the left stands an ugly creature with the head of a dog and the body of a great ape, flexing its powerful arms. Its opposite number is indeed its opposite, with the head of an ape on the body of a large dog. This latter guard approaches you on all 4s. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and 2 misshapen creatures step forward. There they are. It stops some yards in front of you. Just don't think the metric system works for this. Yeah, I thought that was an Ian Livingstone thing. Must be both of them. Steve Jackson was the author of this one. It stops some yards in front of you, raises itself on its hind legs, and addresses you. For which story will you opt? Will you pose as a herbalist, turn to 261? Will you claim to be a tradesman, turn to 230? Or will you ask for shelter for the night, turn to 20? We're going to pose as a herbalist, so turn to 261. Similar, yes, I think it's either the same artist or a similar artist to the first, but Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and he's really good, really good. 261. The ape dog asks to see your herbs. Luckily, you grabbed a few handfuls of weeds on your way, and you show them. Cocking its head to one side, the creature eyes you suspiciously. It asks you for the name of the guard you have come to treat, something you hadn't planned on. You quickly think of a name to bluff the creature, with which to bluff the creature. Kiltrog, turn to 81. Pincus, turn to 175. Or Blag, turn to 394. We're going to do Kiltrog, 81. The ape dog laughs and tells you that Kiltrog is a lazy good-for-nothing and is not worth saving. You breathe a sigh of relief as he walks back and shouts for the gatekeeper. Moments later, the gatekeeper appears and opens a small doorway to let you in. Turn to 251. So far, so good. You walk forwards into a spacious open courtyard surrounded by large walls. Various lights are burning and groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. In the centre of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Looking across the yard, you can see what appears to be the main entrance to the tower. Will you creep around the wall towards the tower, turn to 222, stride boldly across the courtyard, turn to 179, or tiptoe through the shadows towards one of the groups, turn to 321. We're going to tiptoe through the shadows towards one of the groups. Yeah, 321. What will you pull from your backpack? A spider in a jar? That's the wrong one, I apologise. I thought that said 321, I needed my glasses. Cautiously, and keeping well out of sight, you creep through the darkness around the edge of the courtyard. There are two groups of creatures in front of you. To the right you can see two human-like figures talking under a torch fastened to the wall. To the left, a group of four creatures of varying shapes and sizes are sitting around a fire, eating. Will you approach the two by the torch, turn to 269, or the group around the fire, turn to 339? We're going to approach the group around the fire, turn to 339, which is convenient because it's not too far away. A motley crew sit around the fire. A warty-faced orc is handing out scraggy chunks of half-cooked meat to the others. A snarling dwarf with green skin is complaining about the size of his piece, while two scruffy goblins, a man and a woman, are cuddling each other. They giggle and laugh, and every so often she slaps his ugly face, causing more merriment. As you approach, they stop and turn round to look at you with unwelcoming faces. They sneer at your neat appearance, and the female goblin whispers some comment to her mate. In front of the dwarf you can see an open box. You can just make out a vial of liquid within it. Will you sit down with them around the fire, or ask them whether you may join them? Sit around the fire, turn to 134, or ask them whether you may join them, turn to 149. As you approach, they stop and turn to look at you with unwelcoming faces. Great artwork. We're going to sit down with them around the fire. Turn to 134. Matrix Revolutions, that was awful, wasn't it? Awful. Absolutely awful. Anyway, they are taken aback by your audacity. Rather than waiting for them to talk, you act aggressively and demand to know how to get into the Citadel. They point to the main entrance, obviously a little bewildered by your confident manner, and whisper among themselves. The orc tells you that you will need the password, scimitar, to get in. You ask about the vial of liquid within the box, whereupon they get agitated. Would you press them for more information about the vial, turn to 60, leave them and head for the two men you saw earlier, turn to 269, or press on towards the Black Tower, turn to 245? We're going to press them for more information about the vial, turn to 60. The Creatures become suspicious as you press them for information. The dwarf springs to his feet, brandishing a wooden club, while the goblin and the orc grab swords and glare at you. The goblin's mistress shrieks and steps back several paces as the others advance towards you. You will have to fight them. You may use a magic spell. Levitation spell, turn to 33, or illusion spell, turn to 295, or you may draw your sword and fight, turn to 213. We're going to draw our sword and fight, turn to 213. It was inevitable, wasn't it? You draw your sword just in time as the dwarf is almost upon you. Fight each in turn. Dwarf, goblin, orc. If you win, turn to 235. You may escape during the battle by making off for the monument in the centre of the courtyard, turn to 209. Okay, so dwarf 5, 6. Let's go. Alright, rolling for him first. Let's go. Okay, 3 plus 5 is 8. What's my skill again? I can't remember. So he gets 8. 12, blimey. How did I get that? I get 12 plus 8, which is 20. So 20. Puts him down to 4. Next. Okay, he gets 5 plus 5, 10. I get 19, 10 to 19. Puts him down to 2. 10 plus 5 is 15. 6 plus 12 is 18, so 15 to 18. I win. The dwarf is dead. Alright, who's next? SEX. Who's next? I'm sorry, that's an LA Guns song. Sex Action. Whenever I think of who's next, I always think of that song. SEX. Who's next? What am I doing? Oh yeah. Goblin 6-4. Right. There we go. Right. So him first. 11, 19. Puts him down to 2, and then we have 1, 4, 10, 18. I win. He's dead. And last, but certainly least, is the goblin. Or rather the orc, 5, 7. Five, 7. Yeah, let's go. I don't know what I'm doing, sorry, I was confused. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 and 23. So down to 5. Next, 5 plus 10 is 15. 15 to 20. Next, okay, 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 to 21. Last one then. 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 to 22. Alright, that's the dwarf, goblin and orc dead. Get rid of the buzzing and we're back. Okay, if you win, turn to 235. We did win. Okay. Afraid that your commotion may have attracted attention, you peer out into the darkness. Nothing seems to be happening. Going through the pockets of the creatures, you find 8 gold pieces, a copper-coloured key, and a jar of a dark, creamy ointment. You may take any 2 of these with you. Okay. So, I'm going to take the copper-coloured key and the jar of creamy ointment. Copper-coloured key, jar of creamy ointment. What does a pig put on its rash? Ointment. There we go. Ointment. Anyway, anything else? Turning to the vial of liquid, you can make out an inscription on the lid written in runes. Your heart leaps as you realise that this is a potion of magic and is very rare. Within the vial is enough liquid for 2 doses, and each has the effect of raising your magic score by 1 point, allowing you the energy to use 1 extra spell. You may take this potion with you to use after using any spell. 2 doses. When you drink the potion, you need not cross that spell off your list. Remember that this potion will only work twice. Now you may carry on either towards the Citadel, turn to 245, or over to the 2 men talking by torchlight, turn to 269. Okay, so we have Potion of Magic. I'll start a new line. Two doses. Doses worth 1 magic point each. Use a comma there. There we go. Okay, so where are we going now? We are going to carry on towards the Citadel. Turn to 245. And this is the last paragraph in this video. You set off towards the Citadel. Although the night air is calm, you hear a faint whistling, which rapidly gets louder and louder until a strong gust of wind suddenly hits you with such a force that you can barely move against it. You shield your eyes until the blast retreats slightly, and as you open them, you see a ghostly female face inside what appears to be a living whirlwind. She mouths words at you which you cannot make out, but some seconds after she has finished talking, the message reaches you. She seems to find your appearance offensive, and is challenging you with words of abuse. You grab at your sword, but she laughs. Will you ignore her and continue? Turn to 161. Talk to her, turn to 390. Or use your magic to see her off, turn to 47. We will decide what to do in the next part. There's a nice cliffhanger for you. You see a ghostly female face within what appears to be a whirlwind, and there it is. And presumably that's who is on the front of the book, which I'll have another look at which I'll have another look in a moment. So on paragraph 245, next paragraph 245, and that's that. Pretty good. So yeah, definitely making progress. I just save the text file there, and then close it. Yeah, let's have a look at the front of the book. Yep, there she is. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. In the next video we will be deciding, well at the start at least, we'll be deciding how we're going to deal with that whirlwind with the ghostly face. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you can join me next time. Goodbye.